Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Thank you
hi
for
everyone.
thank you for joining us tonight to Behind the Witch's Veil. Um, we have a special guest tonight, and I am going to let my beautiful sister tell you all about her.
Thank you, my dear. We have Reverend Mother Esmeralda James with the St. Michael's American Old Catholic Church. Esmeralda's journey into the paranormal began at the age of 5 following an encounter with her late cousin, an experience that first opened her awareness of the supernatural. Raised in a spiritually active environment, she was exposed early to practices and beliefs connected to witchcraft and the unseen world. At the age of 10, she experienced a profound spiritual disturbance that led to what she later understood as possession during a period of conflict, followed by an exorcism. This pivotal experience guided her path toward the study of demonology with the intention of helping others and avoid similar harm. With that being said, let's bring Reverend Mother Esmeralda up. Hi,
Hi.
Reverend Mother. How are
Hi,
you?
how are you? Good.
Good. Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
No,
Very
thank you
much.
for having me.
We were tickled pink because we were supposed to have somebody on before, and unfortunately, I don't know what happened, but we really want to talk about this subject and educate our members. So thank you
Hmm.
again. This is great.
No, don't
Yes.
worry, anytime.
Oh, it's
So,
very much appreciated.
how do you tell us a little bit more about your experience? What in your intro, I was talking about that, and I'm just really curious to know more about your experiences and what happened, and that led you down the path of wanting to do more to help people.
Sure. So my mom was a dark witch. And I grew up kind of and then my grandmother was a Roman Catholic. So it was a perfect, family reunion kind of thing.
Yeah.
But my mom really got into things that and then to fight with other witches, and I
Mhm.
got in the middle of it. That's why I always say, don't do harm, or if you're like a witch, don't try to do harm, because it might not come to you, but it'll come somebody in your family.
Right.
And this other witch really wanted to harm my mom, and got in the middle of the crossfire, and she sent a demon to the house, and it got attached to me.
Oh no.
So I was 10 years old. I have very glimpse or here and there of what happened. I remember like I would go into a room, and then I don't know where I was in another room, and I didn't know how I went from A to B.
Wow.
One of the things that I do remember is being in the kitchen, and my mom got me so mad that I got a knife and I threw it at her.
Oh
Um,
wow.
and the walls in my country, in Venezuela, they're not like the walls here, they're concrete. And the knife went into it. That was how hard I threw it.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom took me to a coven, and they did the exorcism.
Oh
It
wow.
wasn't
Nice.
it wasn't a church. It was literally the coven. And then I learned from there is not only the Catholic Church that they can do exorcism. Every culture has their own. The Native American have their own. I actually met two Native Americans exorcism in Sedona,
Oh
Arizona.
yeah. Right.
So, and then um, the Japanese culture have their own. So it wasn't just that I wanted to be a Catholic priest and became an exorcist. That came later, but I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to learn. And I really didn't know. I was only 10, but the older that I get, and in my I was almost 20. I decided that I wanted to help people not get in a situation that I got into, which it wasn't my fault.
Right. Yeah. Right.
I just got caught in the fire.
Fire.
And then I started doing paranormal investigations. My cousin, I was 5 years old when my cousin passed. We're the same age. and he came, and I didn't know why was he in my bedroom, because like I knew that he was here in the United States. So I was like, how, and he just said that he came to say bye. So the next morning I told my mom, I was like, hey, where's and I'm not gonna say his name, but where's my cousin?
Mhm.
And she was like, what do you mean? I'm like, he was here. He came in my bedroom. And my mom called my grandmother. My grandma was like, I was about to call you to let you know that he passed last night.
Oh, wow.
He
Wow.
had
That's
leukemia.
incredible. Oh, poor thing.
So,
Ah,
and
unbelievable.
from there, he came and visited me until like maybe 10 years ago. So I think he already reincarnated, because he has not come back to visit me. And yeah. And then I saw a lot of spirits, full body operations, since that situation that happened with the entity. And from there, just the rest of history.
I love it. That's awesome. Wow. That's pretty intense. I'm glad everything is okay with you. That's pretty intense.
Oh
That
yeah.
is intense.
Yeah, and then I can say that I immediately went into like, into like, oh yeah, let's do this, and the white light kind of situation. I was 16, and I was having horrible nightmares. They were so vivid, and I was just being torn apart. And I woke up and I opened my Bible. I don't remember the passage that well because it was in Spanish, but it was something about like when you go to sleep, I protect him and whatever. So I closed it, and I had a vivid dream of having an angel or Jesus. It was very bright, and like a demon on the other side of my bed. And the demon was like, you can't have her. And the angel was like, she was never yours.
Good.
And I woke up, and since then I have never had those type of dreams.
That's
So
incredible. I just literally had goosebumps when you were talking about that. That was incredible.
Yeah, same
Wow.
here. It's amazing. I mean, the story, yes, I love it.
Wow. Incredible. Well, so we just have some questions to kind of go through with you, and we'll kind of go from there. But so
sure.
how do you define a demonologist, and how does that differ from what people assume it is?
So the biggest misunderstanding of a demonologist is that people think that they can do exorcisms. And a demonologist is more or less like a scholar. They study the demons. They study, the paranormal. Focus more in the dark side of the demons, and the mythology of it, and the process of if a person it is possessed or going to be possessed. That's pretty much what a demonologist does. It's more of the person, the every church you have to send out to a my computer's like, do you want to restart? No.
Yeah, like stop.
But it's more of the person you send out first to, so they can do the
The research part of it.
investigation, the resource of it, the to see if it's a demon, or if it's a different entity, a spirit, a ghost, a human spirit. There could be so many things when you're a bad person. When you're alive, when you die, you're going to still be that bad person. There's not that epiphany of becoming a good angel. It isn't within your soul. So that's what a demonologist is. It's not an exorcism. A exorcist should be a demonologist. They should know what are they going to deal with. They should know the difference between a demon, an entity, a spirit, I'm starting to learn about elementals. I'm not I have somebody starting to teach me about that, about elementals and the different cultures too, because the Japanese believe one thing,
True.
and there's another one I can't remember what country is that they believe that demon actually are misunderstood. So there's different cultures up there that believe different things. So the biggest thing is sometimes people is like, oh, I have a demon in my house, and they're like, oh, get a demonologist to help you get rid of the demon. That's not how it is. And a demonologist, and one of the things kills me is that I see curses out there saying, oh, a 3 months curse and you're going to become a demonologist. I'm like, I've been doing this for over 25 years. And I just the past maybe 6 years is that I've been calling myself a demonologist
Wow.
because it's so much study and not only YouTube and stuff. You have to look for the real papers, like the scholars papers, the research that they do. But that's what it is.
Wow. And you know what? That's awesome because I really didn't necessarily know the difference between the two. I thought they went hand in hand. So I was just as bad as, the rest of the people assuming that a demonologist would do that and not necessarily you need to be a demonologist and an exorcist at the same time. Thank you, because
No.
that's enlightening.
You're welcome. And the best example would be like Ed Warren.
Mhm.
So he was a demonologist with the church, which there's different type of demonologists too. There's the demonologists that are just church based.
Mhm.
So they just literally deal with what the church believes in demons are, and they pull up away from the other possibilities. And then I am not a religious demonologist. I look for other things,
Right.
for the other things that are out there, because the worst that you want to do is go to a house and think it's a demon and then it's something else. Plus, I never go to a house and think immediately a demon. I will look for everything else before I can say it's a demon.
Right. Use that as your last resort as opposed to
Mhm.
going to it as
It-
your first resort. Yeah.
Right.
Makes sense. Yeah. Chrissy, did you have any questions?
I'm just amazed. I'm so in
I
awe.
know. I'm like, this is such a great vacation.
It's like, just tell me the stories. I just, yeah. What's the biggest misconception about exorcism that you wish would die ready?
Let me
I got you.
Well, the first thing is it depends. So that's a question that depends on the exorcist, right?
Mhm.
Because if you have an exorcist that believes that everything is a demon, so there's that's one problem, because not everything is a demon.
Right.
I don't believe that they are in every corner waiting to jump on you.
Right.
They have they have bigger fish to catch.
Right.
And then I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. It does happen, but you always have to invite that demon in.
Mhm.
Because you have the problem with people. I'm anti Ouija boards. I have seen way too many horror with the Ouija boards. And for me, a Ouija board would be like living in New York City, in the worst part of New York City, opening your door in the middle of the night and not expecting somebody coming and steal your stuff. Anybody can go through.
Yeah, I think it's with like any divination item that it can come through.
Correct.
Yeah.
For some reason, the Ouija board has been used so much in movies that's what people go
I think
first
it's
to.
like a really bad reputation,
Yeah.
and people just, if they want to use it, they need like proper training to use it.
Right. So we have like
people don't. Yeah.
Right. I was in a event this past weekend in Cabin 360 in Virginia, and there was a meeting there that uses the Ouija board, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be like, you're doing wrong, whatever. I'm not touching a Ouija board. I am not, because of my past history. I don't wanna be in a situation that's going to hurt me or my
Yeah.
family.
I
Right.
completely understand that because I've been through a lot of like paranormal trauma, and I
Right.
wouldn't put myself
Yeah.
up for anything. You
Right.
know?
But and what I told her is, I trust you more with the Ouija board than a 15-year-old that just saw the movie, the Ouija, and wants to do that, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem. We have kids playing with these toys. They don't know what they're doing. So the misunderstanding that I wish people would stop believing is that we're going to come in and think that everything's a demon, you know, an exorcism for everybody, you know,
Right.
like giving out candy. That is, it doesn't happen. We're not. We're going to help the person, but if they don't want to be helped, we can't help them.
That's true.
We can never do an exorcism on somebody that doesn't want to have it. And that's another problem. They think that a family member call and be like, I need you to do an exorcism to this person. Well, if that person doesn't want to get rid of the demon,
Right.
Yeah.
then I can't do nothing about it.
Yeah. It's like leading a horse to water. You can't make him drink. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Complete sense. Yeah. Wow.
Amy, you have a question?
Yes, I do. So, who trained you, and what does legit training look like in your field?
Okay, so are we talking about in the demonology part, or are we talking about the exorcist part?
Well,
Both.
first, I want to know both.
So
Yeah.
the demonology part, there is not, and it's hard because there's not actually a school that you can go to. There's courses out there, but you can't call yourself a demonologist just by taking 1, 2, 3, 4 courses. Is when I started this, 25 plus years ago, there was not that many demonologists there, maybe Ed Warren, and in my country, 0. Like, let's not even talk about that. So
Right.
I trained myself. I got a lot of books, a lot of papers, like, and just read and tried to figure out what it was fake and what was real. That's why. So right now with YouTube, you never know what is what.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
I stay away from anything YouTube. Some things online I will read. I will try to find scholar papers, and trying to look where I can get those scholar papers. A lot of them are in very old English, so then I had to get a translation to be
Yeah.
able to understand what
Wow.
they're saying. But is in just ask questions. Other people, other people that have been doing this. I've been in houses. There's been one there, and that's how I realized that when there's a very dark entity or a demon, I get super sick. Like, I get dizzy. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm in this world text, and that's how I know there's something very dark is in there. But the training is just years and years of research. Being and anytime I had a chance go to a paranormal situation where a person might think it was or I wasn't, and just I built myself up and did it that way. Now in days, like, I help people with the demonology part. I've been begged to start a demonology class, which I will sometime next year, but I truly cannot do a class until them. Now you're a demonologist. No,
Right.
I can't do that. But I can give you the steps of how to get to that moment. I can give you a certificate that you went to the class, you understand the basics of it, and then it's up to you to continue and build yourself.
Right. That makes
Now,
sense.
yeah, it's just and I have taken classes, because I'm like, I want to learn, I want to see and learn more from other people. And I've been in classes where they focus so much on the part of the Bible, and then they started, being like, oh, the problem is with these people, the mediums and the seers and the this and that. And I'm like, that has nothing to do. You're like in 2 different worlds,
Right.
So And then there have been another one said like, oh, this is how you call a demon in. I'm like, why are we calling demon? I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't
why?
I'm like, I don't need to know how to, call a demon or manifest a demon. I'm trying to stop him from coming.
Yeah,
Right,
you're
get
trying
rid of them.
later.
Right.
Okay.
But
Goodbye.
yeah, right. It's just like, I don't understand this. But I learned what to do, not to do when the day
Yeah.
that I do my own class or my own, guide on how to do it. Now, for me to become an exorcist, I don't know if you guys ever watched the show Legion of Exorcist.
No, but I'm gonna write it down so I can
Sounds
watch it.
familiar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Legion of Exorcist.
Okay.
It's in Discovery Plus, I think.
Okay.
You have
So the only female exorcist in the show is my Archbishop.
Wow.
So when her name is Rita Estraga. When I saw her, I was like, I want to know more. My intention was not to become a priest or an exorcist. My intention was like to know more about demonologists. So I contacted her. I'm like, hey, do you have any books that you have read or any guidance? And then she wrote back and she like, I think you should come over and start the class as a priest and an exorcist. And I was like, okay,
You're like, my
fine.
arm was twisted.
Yeah, I'm like, so the first thing that I had to do is go through the class to become a priest. So I went, I had our bishop, and he taught us how to, the whole thing about priesthood, the different prayers, and how to be a priest. Once I passed that class was when I started the exorcism class. And it's not a class that you go and do an exorcism with somebody. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But she did bring in all her files and all the exorcisms that she has done. And believe me, some of them I was like, wow. They were very, very like, I was like, well, now I'm going to go sage because I feel like something just came in through the
Paper.
monitor. Right.
Yeah.
So we went through a whole class with her, and then we had to learn not only how to dictate what a demon is, we had to learn about souls, how to deliver a person, they do and they don't, like we are not allowed to charge for an exorcism, which it makes 100% sense.
Right.
If a priest or whatever tells you, oh, you got to pay me $200 for an exorcism, they're not real priests. We are not allowed to charge for exorcism. We're not allowed to charge for deliverance. Of course, if somebody is in, I don't know, I was in Sedona to do a deliverance on a girl. Lucky enough, my best friend was living in Sedona, so I'll stay with her. But like travel like that, something like that, sure, and we can get donations to help us travel
Right.
to the location, but never charge for it. The other things like marriage and stuff like that, yeah, we can charge for that, but not the main thing, which is an exorcism.
Right.
And then I had, we had an exam and passed the exam, and then we later we were ordained. In my class was we started with like 20, and actually only 4 got ordained.
Wow.
So we got ordained as a priest, and then we have the rights of the exorcism given to us.
That's incredible. That's a long journey, a long journey.
Yeah.
And very, from what I understand, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a very in-depth, very.
And
hard.
not only, and you're being attacked the whole time. I couldn't tell you things that were going on. Like everything was happening. My best friend got in a horrible car accident, which now she's still, fighting that. I was getting knocks on my door, in my bedroom door, not even outside my bedroom door. And I'll be like, I will ask my wives that you not, why you knocking at the door? He's like, I didn't knock.
Mhm.
We were free. It just attacked. I got very sick. Um, I was having problem with work. I I left my job, and then I started doing contractor work as a videographer, and I was not getting paid. It was just so bad.
Wow.
If it wasn't being attacked to me, it was like things were. My daughter got very depression, so it's everything that was being attacked. I even had to have my art vision do deliverance on me because it was just like it will not stop,
Yeah,
and
we
it's
leave it
still,
alone.
yeah, it's still time by time, there'll happen something in the house. And then I'm like, it's time to sage because we
Right.
do believe in sage, and we do believe in help and bless salt and bless holy water and oils. But yeah, sometimes it's just, a lot of mental.
Yeah, that's the mental grind of it, I have to say,
Hmm.
especially when you were reading those the past cases that she had.
Hmm.
I can only imagine, like the thought process going through your mind, like, excuse my French, holy shit.
Right. And more because she not only had the transcript of what happened, but she had the videos. So
Oh,
we
wow.
got to watch the videos and stuff, and some of them I was like, like wow. Um, but again, we her cases were true, true demonic possessions. But
Yeah.
then we have people they're not possessed; they have some mental problems, and they have mental health problems, and they don't need an exorcism. And
Right.
a lot of
Mhm.
people are like, why you don't just give them an exorcism so they think they're fixed? I'm like, because I'm not helping.
Yeah, that's a
Um
lie.
They need
it's
different kind of help.
Mhm.
right. They're gonna be in a moment that is something else is gonna happen, and they're gonna be like, oh, it didn't work, and I'm
Right.
still possessed. So
Yeah.
before we even think about an exorcism, my intake for a client, I think it's about 5 to 7 pages, and 85% is mental health things about them and about their family and all that good stuff. After that, then my church has a whole other pages of mental background, and then we send it to a psychiatrist. So it's like we go through everything before we even try to say it's a demon.
I love that. That's the whole due process, which is fabulous because I've run into that too, where I literally had. It's crazy that just it coincided with you coming on, but I
Mhm.
did a paranormal investigation in Globe, Arizona, and I had a gentleman who came up to me, and the lead investigator brought him over to me and told me that he needed to come back. He was told by another medium, and I'm like, well, first of all, this I don't play in the demonology world. I always say that's above my pay grade. I just talk to dead people.
That's my best friend says this. My best friend is a medium too, and one of my mentor is a medium too, and that's what they say all the time. That's above my pay rate, and then
Yeah,
they send it to me. I'm always
right.
getting the referrals.
Yeah. But I
After
mean,
you deal with
this
like a
kid
dark
was,
spirit, like demons, you're like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
That's someone
yeah,
else.
no, that's someone,
You're
I
like,
let someone else deal with
I
that.
got
That's
my life. I don't need that.
my mental stability is just perfect in this realm. But yeah, this young kid, I felt so bad for him because he literally walked up and he said, I was told by another medium that I had to come back to Globe and I had to that a demon attached to me at the Globe jail. And it just was ironic that this came across on social media that you were offering a free paranormal event and that you were a medium going to be doing a gallery reading. So I thought I'd kill two birds with one stone. I could be back in Globe and I could have this medium remove the demon. And I said, well, first of all, I don't remove demons. That's not my forte. That would be somebody else's, forte, like a demonologist or an exorcist. In this case, I'm clarified an exorcist needs to do this. But and I told him, I said, so why do you feel like you have that? So he started talking about night terrors and things like that. And in my in my little pea brain that I do, I use my dowsing rods. Those are my divination rods. I use that. I had him turn his back to me, and I use those to check to see, if there's an affliction on the body. And as soon as I straightened them out and made the manifestation of what I wanted to have them do, it literally crossed over and right on the head. Stayed straight the entire time, going all the way down the entire body, but it was mental health issues. And I kind of knew that was with the sleep terrors, because I've heard of that before with people that have sleep terrors, that, it basically that manifests as a demon, but it's not. It's really, it's more of a chemical
Talking about
imbalance.
like sleep paralysis.
Yep, like sleep paralysis too. Night terrors and sleep paralysis. Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I've been through that personally, and that's awful.
It is. It's awful. It really is.
You're
But
just, like paralyzed, and you just see everything around you, and you have no idea.
so this poor kid, I told him, I said, I'm not a doctor. I just am going to tell you that I think you should seek some professional help. And so,
Right.
You can also tell him, because I've been through that. Focusing, moving on a limb helps, and sleeping on your side or your back helps.
Oh,
for him.
interesting. Huh.
So that's just coming from experience from my side. Everybody's
Right.
different, but that's
Yeah.
what helped me.
Oh, well, I'll keep that. I'm going to put that in my back pocket so I know that, because it's happened to me twice. I've had 2 cases where it literally was the same situation.
Well,
Just different why the medium needed to be there,
some of us are haunted,
Yeah.
You remind me of the case that I had in Sedona. Well, it wasn't Sedona, it was Flagstaff. Funny enough, this girl contacted my best friend, because my best friend is a medium, and she's like, I think I have a demon, I have this is going on. And immediately, she was referred to me, and she was right there in Flagstaff where we were. So I went and had like 3 interviews with her, and I was like, well, I do think there's something here, because it's just the thing that's going on, but I don't think it's a demon. Like, I just didn't think it's a demon. It's something paranormal, but I don't think it's a demon.
Right.
So I went, I spoke to my archbishop. At that moment, I was just training. I wasn't even, I'm like, this is going on. She's like, okay, go over there, do some prayers, some deliverance on her. And then my bishop is, I'm going to talk to my guides. And then I have another friend that she does more about, she's a medium, but she does more about like witchcraft and stuff like that. And she was connected to while I was doing this. And then I started talking to the girl, and literally it was an attachment. An attachment so horrible that attachment made the grandmother commit suicide.
Oh, no.
And then the attachment jumped from the grandmother to the father. And then the father committed suicide.
Oh my gosh.
And this girl was just like so scared. She like, next, what's going on? She like, it's just been worse. And then we doing some digging. The college was built on a Native American barrier.
Oh, ding, ding, ding.
So this entity that was already powerful enough, because it has fed the fear, all this from the family,
right?
And there was, problems with drugs. Not the girl, but the grandmother and the fathers, and different alcohol stuff, that she was just terrified.
Wow.
And when I walked into her dorm, I got so sick and I got so dizzy. She has a cat, and her cat immediately came to me. And I was like, okay, let me get my barriers here, because I just feel like. So I did a cleansing on her dorm. I did a cleansing on her. I give her a Bible, holy water. And I was like, and this might sound kind of funny, but I was like, take a shot of holy water every day.
Yeah.
that
I've
will
heard
help
that
you
too.
from that will help you from inside. And I keep taps on her, and she'll message me sometime, and she's doing much better.
Oh,
And then I
good.
have my friend do Reiki on her, and clear out all the. Then my archbishop, she was like, okay, the attachment, and I told her, I'm like, it's not something that I can promise you they're not gonna come back, because that attachment is like a vampire. It's been sucking blood so much from your family,
Mhm.
it might come back. I'm like, but it's up to you to prevent that. So that means that sad enough, don't be doing occult stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're not gonna be able to you have a friend, one of her friend was a witch. I'm like, you're gonna have to cut ties, because it's not good for you. It just
Too susceptible to it.
right. So but yeah, that's one that wasn't a demon. It was a really bad attachment.
It's like
Wow.
eating a doll. Did you hear me,
Wow.
Mimi?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. At least she wasn't big spooned. I don't know if you know the history behind that. So my entire life I've been
to tell her, yeah.
with spirits, and I had a shadow person when I was younger, like when I was a teenage, and it would big spoon me every night, and my mom would walk past my room and see it, and what it would do, it would pet me. Now I always tell people, I go, if you've been big spoon, then you know you can relate to me.
So some years ago, we were sleeping, and I felt like somebody touched my shoulder, like woke me up. And I opened my eyes, and there was a person there. But I could only see a shadow, a man, and I didn't have my glasses, so that's not gonna help neither.
Yeah.
And I was, and I was like,
blind too.
right. And I was like, what do you need? Like, why do you wake me up? And it disappeared. And I was so mad, because it takes me so long to go back to sleep. And I was like, I don't understand. Why will you come just wake me up and not communicate? At the end of the day, it was my father. He went in. One of my friends was like, that's your father. I was like,
Oh.
great, but why wake me up?
You're like, wait a minute, my sleep is precious.
Right.
When we're asleep too, it's like the easiest time for spirits to communicate to us. So
Yeah.
that's probably
Right.
like the easiest way for him.
To communicate.
Sleep.
Yeah, I'm a light sleeper, so
I am too.
my favorite is when they wake you up and they're just like hovering over you and just staring, and you're like,
Personal space.
Can I help you? Like, what's happening right now?
Yeah.
Right?
Can we just get straight to the point so I can go back to bed, please? Or please give me coffee, like give me a little
Right.
caffeine to help with this.
Oh my gosh. Well, what are the red flags that tell you somebody needs medical or psychiatric help instead?
Yeah.
Well, so you got the first. I will ask directly the questions. Have you been into a psychiatric or a mental health? Are you taking medications? What is your family history? And then I will ask, like, why do you think that you have an attachment or a demon or spirit? What are you seeing?
Mm-hmm.
And they will be like, well, I hear this or I hear that. What is that telling you? Is it telling you to harm yourself or others? Are you sleeping? Are you not sleeping? Because if you're not sleeping, then you're harming yourself more, and your mental health really, goes out the door when you're not resting. You're stressed. And then I'm like, is it somebody else that hearing the things that you're hearing? That you seeing the things you're seeing? Yes. If it's a demon, they will focus on one person first, but their demons are very selfish.
Yeah.
And hungry for souls, so they're gonna start not only on you but another family member.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
And
think that every demon wants souls, or if they have different appetites, I would say.
so the main goal of a demon is the soul.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's why when a person say, oh, that door is possessed, or that whatever is possessed.
Mhm.
I'm like, a demon cannot possess an item because the item does not have a soul.
Aha.
The demon is like a leech that gets attached to the soul. So without a soul, they can possess, they can attach themselves to it and control it, but they can't possess it.
Possess it.
And
Yeah.
that's why I always say, do not burn anything that has an attachment. You're burning the vessel, but not what is inside.
Kind
You
of
just
releasing it.
right. And
So
and I know for experience that a person can have in spirit attached to an item or an entity to an item, and we don't know why that happened, if it was bad or good. Like, what is it, the demi box is a Jewish
Yeah.
box.
Oh yeah, the
So-
I know
doom
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you destroy the box, you just release whatever was there.
You're releasing the entities or the
I always
demons.
Right.
told I always tell people to bury it not on your property.
Right. I
Far
always
away
said,
from you.
I will. People contact me about dolls for some reason, and I'm like, I'm not taking your possessed stuff. I'm not dealing with that. I have enough for me. I don't need more stuff here. Plus, my wife will divorce me.
Don't want that.
I have a really bad experience with a haunted doll, so I will never mess with the doll again.
Yeah, it's
It was
Uh,
horrible.
Yeah, it was
right.
horrible.
So if you do have one of those, I always say, if you can get wood, put the item or the doll inside a wood with a rosary, a blessed rosary, blessed metals, holy water.
I had to do personally. I'm a witch, but I also have Catholic roots from my father, so I leaned upon that to
Of the
get me through
saints,
it. And I would pray to Saint Michael
Mhm.
every single night because it's
Right.
the only way I could sleep. And then I had like the archangel spray. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about,
Mhm.
but I sprayed that all around me. And then I had to cleanse my room every night just because it was such a heavy energy and it was obsessed with me. Like they did a spirit box section in another state, and then the spirit was still mentioning me.
Yeah, I always tell them to put in there and go bury it far away,
Yeah.
with nobody gonna be able to find it, and bury deep.
Right.
Or if you want to go to the ocean and just throw it in the ocean, that works too.
Oh, nice.
This is why we don't do seances with dolls, people. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't ever destroy the item. So going back to the mental, so I will do those questions. I will look at the person. I have a questionnaire that they filled, and then I see how they answer the questionnaire. And then if I don't really feel there is no actual demon or entity or anything that's there that's more mental, I will tell them, hey, how about let's go talk to a professional just to roll out. And then a lot of times I'm like, I can't do nothing until that professional doesn't tell me there's
Right.
not mental stuff.
Right.
And 9 out of 10 is that problem. Or you have that percent that actually are possessed. And I have not done an exorcism yet. I've been ordained for 2 years, and I don't think it's responsible for me to just go and do, I'm like,
Right.
I had to shadow people.
Right. Right.
But
like an apprenticeship almost in a sense.
right.
Yeah.
Right. But once they're being deliverance, like if I pray over somebody and the person has been delivered and they feel so good, they're so happy, they stop taking their medication, then you just go down the hole again. I'm like,
Yeah.
don't, it is. I'm like, don't stop taking your medication. Stay with your medication until your doctor tells you you don't need it.
Right.
Oh wow. We do have a question from
I feel like also like leaning into your faith when you're going through something like that is highly important.
we do have
And-
a question from the audience. I just want to get through before they think we didn't see it. But from Opie 1788, how does a demon chooses who to attach to?
I don't think the demon chooses. I think we invite them.
It's like a permission
Mm.
slip.
Right. Which so here's my theory, and this is my theory. I think there are demons that are sent to harm people they're meant to do something great. Like if a person is meant to be a beautiful soul in this earth to the point they might get to be a saint, I believe the enemy, Satan, the enemy will send demons to attack that person.
Especially if you're like an addict or if you're going through any hardships, like that's the time they want to kick you when you're down.
When you're
Right.
vulnerable.
But
You're most
even with that, you have to invite them.
Yeah.
vulnerable.
But I'm talking more about, like, let's say we have the next, I don't know, the next saint that's gonna come out, and this person is helping people, healing people with God is going through them to heal. I believe that a higher rank demon will come and try to attack, because that's what they want to take it out of it, take out of the world.
Right.
I think demons are by ranks, and I think the ones that get attached to you, like, example, you're doing a sand and you think it's your aunt, but actually it's a demon because they wanna. I think those are lower ranks. They're just doing that dirty work, like
workers.
soldiers. Yeah, and then that's when they bring more. So I don't think there is the demon choosing you; it's you choosing the demon.
Interesting.
I like that
Very.
way to look at it.
Yeah.
Because I agree a lot with that as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah, I do too.
And then you have the situation when, and this is something I always believed, is when a human spirit is so evil, let's say a serial killer, right? I believe that if they do cross over, I know I'm the worst priest. I don't believe in hell like what the Bible says. I do believe that they send them right back to earth
Ding,
to
ding, 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 ding. Yes.
to to do the role reverse. Now
Right.
they are the victims,
Right.
right? Now all priests believe this, and but it's just because so much that I have seen. But then if that soul does not cross over and stays here, that soul is still evil. It's not a demon, but it's still evil.
Right.
And I believe that soul can actually team up with the demon. So you
For
have,
calling.
right, you have the entity that is making rackets in your house, and they're attacking you on the side. And then they have the demon that's attacking like the mind, and they're back. Because I don't believe human souls can go into your head and tell you stuff. I don't believe demons have more power.
Right.
Just like I don't believe that a human entity can push a refrigerator. They might be able to move, I don't know, a picture or keys, but something like that, it needs a lot of power, and that's more a demon can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I do believe that a evil entity as a human soul can team up with a demon and come together.
I wonder, like, if we ever encounter that, because we have had a lot of like that type of activity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have another comment from Teresa. Where do the demons come from before they attach to someone? It's interesting, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go by the Bible, the demons are fallen angels, right?
Mhm.
And they're in the pit of heaven. Sorry, pit of hell.
We would like them to go to heaven, but
But so they come from hell. For me, is dimensions, different dimensions,
yeah.
right? So heaven, or home, like I call it, is in a higher dimension, higher vibration, and then hell is in a lower vibration. So as I believe the demons grow like a human grows. They use the same tools as we used to, like they'll use, the social media. They'll, and I'm not saying that a demon is typing,
Right.
but they will use a person to go
Do
into
the
like
work.
this, right, do the word. That's when you see very negative stuff happening, or people saying horrible thing in social media. But the demons, I don't think they come from a place. They're just there. There's another dimension,
Hmm.
but not like a house,
Right. It's interesting because I had a case where it was a 13-year-old girl who she's very in tune. She's, in fact, I would say she was a medium. She could see this entity, and I came into the picture to try to help them. And we did end up helping her and cleanse the house in this case and create a boundary so that she was not going to self-harm herself. But I saw this it was a person like you just explained, an evil person who is a serial killer. He preyed on women from 13 to 20, and where his killing field was where their apartment complex was built on.
Oh.
So he literally found two apartments joined together by a common wall. The people that lived on the one side of the wall, they eventually moved out because they couldn't take it anymore. And then this little girl was 13, and she was like, she explained exactly what she saw, which matched exactly what I saw. And his name was Alex, and he wanted her soul. And I told her that, so we had to go through again. I didn't do nearly what I needed to do in order to protect her, because it's above my pay grade, but I went in and at least we saged and, we did the saging, we did the holy water, we did the blessed salt, we did all of the things at least to create a boundary around her apartment so that she could live. And she was fine as long as the boundary was in place. They ended up moving themselves to Tucson, and then she's totally fine. But he literally told me, verbatim, like, you're in my way. I need this to graduate. And I mean, I'm getting chills again, because you're saying exactly everything that you're saying is exactly what I heard. And I'm like, what the hell?
No pun intended.
Pun intended, not intended. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it was crazy, because he said, you're standing in the way of me getting my first soul. I have to have her commit suicide in order to have her soul, and I graduate. And I'm like, what are we, fifth graders, and we need a test, and you're taking this person's soul? And you're like, I go, no, you will not. Not on my watch.
Which I don't believe that a human spirit or human soul can become a demon. If we go by what a demon is an entity that never walked the earth.
Wow.
Never had a human body, but they can emulate, and they can, it might be, which it sounds horrible, but it might be a demon telling him this, so he'll do the dirty work.
Correct.
And at the end,
that's what I assumed too.
Well. Right.
I don't have any experience with demons. With dark spirits, I do, because I dealt with them a lot when I was younger. They will try to build your trust and try to appear to be something that you would feel.
They're not.
Which demons do that?
Yeah.
So a lot of times a person say, oh, one of my family members, my grandmother came and visited me, but I was so scared. If it's a true visiting of a family, of a loved one, not even a family member, a loved one, you're not going to be scared. It's that fear's not going to be inside.
Right.
Now, if you're looking at this person, make sure to actually look, see if there's something wrong, because even though demons can take the form of a loved one, they cannot be 100%, because they cannot imitate what God created.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we're perfect in God's eyes. So they're always going to have something. The eyes, they're not going to be normal eyes. They might be one arm longer than the other one, or the ears, or they walk weird,
Funny.
Right. There's going to be something wrong. with that visit.
Mhm.
So I always say, if it's a true visiting of a loved one that has crossover and they're coming to visit you,
Mhm.
you're not going to have fear.
Right.
Fear will not be in your heart.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's-
I think my sister needs a pay raise. so, so is there any, now I know you mentioned about how you got your training and everything. So is there some place online where if somebody's really interested, how will they go about getting the training online?
So you can go through the church website.
Okay.
We have the
Down
classes,
below.
correct. And so the only thing is they will not train you to be an exorcist if you don't become a priest.
Right.
So, but the training is there. Actually, there is a class going on right now. There's 3 or 4 girls that actually passed the priest, and now they're in the exorcist classes. So if you go through to the link, you're gonna go to my profile. You just hit. My God, I can't even remember what it says. Um, I know there's there, and there's like school of exorcists, school of clergy, and then the person that gives the classes is our bishop Rita Strala. So,
That's
and
incredible.
our church are more female priests than we have males, because her class is focused on females, because you know there's this thing they believe that females cannot be priests or they cannot be
Yeah.
exorcists. So she is trying to break the barrier, so
I
she
love
will
that.
only yes, she will only do the classes for females. And there's this questionnaire that she sends first before she said yes. So
Love it. That's absolutely incredible. How empowering. I mean, that's incredible. I honestly think, I mean, I'm not trying to be sexist here. Please, audience, do not kill me, okay? But women are pretty darn sturdy, strong people. I
Yes.
mean,
We're
think
pretty
about
badass.
it. Think
Yeah.
about how we have to bear children.
Yep.
I don't think men could handle that.
well, and not only that, so as an exorcist, you rely, of course, first God, Saint Michael, Saint Benedict, but the Virgin Mary is very powerful too.
Right. Exactly.
So just asking Mary to help, and it is very powerful. So if we can ask the Virgin Mary for help, why can we not be
Right.
priests or exorcists?
Right.
Because you're just being hypocrite or saying, oh, the Virgin Mary, but you're a female, you're lower.
Right. Right. Yeah, exactly.
We do got a question from the audience. It's one of Amy's friends from TikTok, by the
Okay,
way.
so what if an exorcism doesn't work? What would be the next step?
So here's another thing they believe, that you go do the exorcisms and that's it. Sometimes you have to do it multiple times. And the reason that exorcists don't work is because the person doesn't want to let go.
Mhm.
Yeah, that does make
Makes
sense.
sense.
It
Makes
does
a lot
make
of sense.
sense. Yeah.
Because it's like an
So,
internal battle within yourself to release
Right.
whatever is attacking you.
Right.
and a lot
exactly.
of time it's because that person doesn't think they're worthy. They
Uh,
don't think they're worthy the love of God or whatever they believe in. I this is one thing, and I want everybody to know, you don't have to be Catholic for me to come and help. You can be whatever religion, you can be Wiccan, you can be whatever. If you need help, I'll be there.
that's awesome.
A lot of times I don't even wear my clothes. I'll be in street clothes because I don't know who I'm coming to.
Right.
I don't want them to feel the intimidated because they see this, or
Right.
intimidated because I'm in the Catholic side, and there's this horrible thing that a lot of Catholic churches say, we can't help because you're not part of our church. You're not a
Yeah.
Catholic. You're not been baptized. So is all the time is the person. If the person don't believe, if the person doesn't have faith, and the person doesn't actually want that entity out of their life, it's not going to happen. It's just like, and it drives me crazy when it's somebody that doesn't believe in God, somebody that doesn't have any type of belief system.
Mm-hmm.
They have something in their house going on. It could be just a human spirit that just making habits, or an entity, or a demon. And then they believe that just by getting holy water, a cross, the Bible
Right.
is going to work out.
Right.
Well, it's not going to work out because you don't have faith on it.
Right.
Because you don't believe that that's going to help. Just like sage. Somebody can sage all day long.
So if they
But
don't
if they
believe
don't,
it,
right. But if they don't have the intent and they actually believe that that's going to help, it's not going to help.
Wow.
this is incredible.
It is. I
wow.
mean,
I am.
yeah, I am too. I
I
mean,
love this. This is awesome.
yes, it's been very interesting, intrigued.
I think it's really like intriguing, especially as
Yes,
someone
very
who's dealt with a
intriguing.
lot of like the paranormal, but with darker spirits. It's
Yeah.
almost like a little bit of the same, but
Mhm.
not. It's a different process because it's
Yeah.
a little bit.
Hey, I have dealt with good spirits too. I'm not saying that everything I deal with is
Yeah,
dark.
exactly. Because that's what everybody assumes. Like I've been asked that question too as a medium. Like how many demons have you run into in your
Mhm.
field? And I'm like, technically, really just one. I really have, because the one presented itself as a typical looking demon.
Mhm.
Very tall, hunched over, horns, claws, or like these nails like I've never seen in my life, I exited the building pretty fast. And it was trying to summon me over because he knew I saw him and he saw me, and he literally wanted me to approach him, and I'm like, hasta luego. I'm out of here.
Would have like approached him. That would have been a permission slip for him to attach to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm like, again, not in my lifetime. You're not going to do that to me. Absolutely not. I mean, I went.
And it's funny enough, I do a lot of paranormal investigations. I love going ghost hunting. I will not let people. One of my peeves is somebody going into a house that is haunted by a human spirit and being so disrespectful to that spirit.
Yeah,
Cursing them out, trying to make them be like
Angry?
a circus, like move this, move that, or knock three times, and then when they do it, the person runs. It's like, well, you asked for it.
Tell people to talk to them like it's your family member,
Yeah.
like it's your
Right.
friend, because
Right.
how would you want to be treated in the afterlife?
Right.
I'm like, how would you like if somebody comes to your house and they curse out your mother or they curse out you?
Right.
It's very disrespectful.
I would be angry too.
Right. And then, or I have seen a lot of those YouTube investigator and other TV shows. Everything is a demon.
Yeah.
Everything is a demon.
And they're possessed.
Right. Everything is possessed. Everything is a demon. And they're like, you are a demon. You are a demon. If I was the spirit and you're calling me a demon, I will show you how mean I can be,
Right.
And I
Exactly.
will act up because I'm like, why are you calling me a demon? Why are you coming to my house?
Right.
Insult me, call me a demon, and think that that's okay.
Yeah.
I really think that all these people, they think that everything is a demon and they're always possessed, that the day that happens, they're not going to know what hit them.
Right.
Yeah, when we interviewed Lorraine and Ed Warren's grandson Chris, he said the same thing. It's less likely a demon.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Not everything is a demon, and they're not in every corner waiting to jump you.
Right.
Right.
That is really, correct, because that's one thing that gets me really ticked off when I watch paranormal shows, whether it's on TV or YouTube, is they will scream at them, and something, or they will challenge them, or they will, says, well, if
Call
you're
them names.
yeah, it's like, if you're not going to knock 3 times and you're not here, go away.
First of all, I don't even like to be bossed around now, let
Right.
alone when I'm dating.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
and another note, it depends on the culture.
Right.
So Japan, when there's a spirit, they will curse out the spirit to make it leave. But I believe it's because Japanese culture is very respectful culture. They respect the elders, they respect people. So the respect is built there. So I believe that when there is an entity, they curse them out and they call them name for the entity to leave, is because there's that culture that like the entity is like, oh my god, I'm being cursed out, I gotta go. So it's all culture wise.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. Wow.
Very true. Well, we're to the end of lovely, amazing, intriguing podcast.
I would love to have you again.
Yes,
I think
I
you're
do
really
too. Definitely.
I was just going to say that maybe if you're not doing anything this fall, or even
Yeah.
October would be a great
or
time.
spooky
A spooky.
Yeah.
I think it's really nice to like just talk to someone
Mhm.
who's gonna educate people, and it's like proper information, and not
Thank
not
you.
based off of fear or anything. It's just like,
Right.
this is what's happening, and
Yeah.
this is how you handle it.
Yeah.
This was mind blowing. I mean, the information and the clarification that I received it's worth gold to me,
I think it
And-
just confirms a lot of things.
Mhm.
Like I think like as a medium, Pauline,
Yeah.
you feel the same way.
Yeah.
I think for me, is I would just want to educate people, even if I never do an exorcism myself. I just want to educate people, and I wanted them to know the differences and the difference between a demonologist and an exorcist. And they're not only Catholic exorcists up there; they're all the culture exorcists. Don't be afraid to ask help for help.
Yeah.
And
Right.
to always remember the only way a demon is going to come into your life is if you invite it.
Yeah.
You have to invite it first. It's just, it's the truth, and it's the best thing, because now that you know what they are and you know how much harm, you're not going to invite them. But then again, we got those movies. I love horror movies. That's all I watch is horror. Not a joke. I'm like, I love horror movies. But we have this culture that they make demons to be nice, like Lucifer. The show Lucifer, I love
yeah.
that show.
I've
Yes,
seen that show.
And he's so sexy. Okay. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Tom.
That's what my wife says. but I love the show. I enjoy the show. But what's the problem with that show? They're showing that
Memorizing.
Lucifer is a misunderstood.
Yeah.
Actually, he's a good guy.
Mhm.
They're not all look like demons, that they can be this and that. So we are bringing a generation, they're not afraid of demons no more.
Right.
And they're out there. So the demons always wanted you to not believe in them so they can attack. Now they believe in demon and they think they're the best friends.
Right.
So that's a problem.
That's one hell of a
Yeah.
best friend.
Yeah. Well, it cracks me up that she watches horror movies, because then she probably looks at it and goes, "That's not true. You can't do that."
Right. Like, I love watching exorcisms movie because I'm like, okay, sure.
It's just
That's like me with paranormal investigations, watching these I should say not even paranormal entertainment, watching these TV shows that are paranormal based, and going, that doesn't happen. You don't use that. No, what?
So there's one movie that I really enjoy, and I cannot remember the movie, but it's about this psychiatric guy that gotta go to a prison to see if the person is mentally stable to be put in the electric chair. And the person was like, I am a demon, and he doesn't really believe it. And the person was actually possessed by a demon. But the demon was doing this because he wanted for the guy to write this book, and it was like it was going to be a book that was going to go against the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good movie, and I can
Wow.
see demons doing that. I can see.
Oh yeah,
being,
I could totally see that. Yeah, absolutely.
Try to like make you view things in a different light, like they're
Mhm.
good, and that they're
Right.
gonna help you and be your best
Mhm.
friend. But really,
Right.
they have more malicious intentions for you.
Yeah, they just want your soul.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What is it that
you're just a little snack to them. I'm sorry, people.
Right.
what was it that the Bible said? It's demons were dressed in sheep's clothes or something like that. Do you remember that? It's from the again. I was raised Roman Catholic too, so I totally understand and get it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
No, you're
you
welcome.
will be back on again. We
Yeah.
will definitely make sure of it.
I feel like I'm learning a lot from you.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
know.
thank you. That's
And
my
you know
goal.
what? If you do a demonology class, will you please let me know? I mean,
Yeah,
even
I
for
will.
the fact
I
of
would
just
love to.
educating myself more so being in the paranormal world and as a medium, I would love to have that basis and that foundation.
Colleen, we
That's
should
awesome.
get together.
We should
My
together.
my
awesome.
goal
Yeah.
my goal is next year. I already started doing like a PowerPoint presentation, but it's there's so much that I want to put in there that I need to see how to break it down because I I want to go I want to go the mythology part, and I want to go all these different parts. So sometime this year, hopefully, I'll
Yeah.
have it done.
Yeah.
Well, you have 3 people right here that want to sign up, so.
If you let us know, we can
Yeah.
always post it on a Facebook group too.
I can
Yeah.
TikTok.
Yeah.
So
We would
Sure.
get it out there. So, we can make one class into 2 classes to 3 classes. You never know.
Well, yeah, no, I don't want it. My goal is not just have one class, but at least be minimum of 3 months.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounds like, I was gonna say 6 months actually, but 3 months,
Right.
yeah.
But and have the person understand, whoever is in the class, that I am not giving you a certificate say that you are the demonologist.
Right.
I am only giving you a certificate say that you completed the class and you have an understanding of a demonology.
yeah.
But I
Perfect.
cannot tell you you are the demonologist.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. No, I just wanted for the ground foundation so that I
Yeah.
know better with helping people.
Yeah.
Because we
No.
do stuff in the paranormal field, so it would be great to have that knowledge.
Right. Exactly.
And
Well,
if you guys ever need anything or have questions or need help with the dark side, don't be afraid to reach me. And that link goes to my profile on the church, and my email address is in there. Whatever, I'm here to help.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I promise I won't play with any more haunted dolls.
Before we go, we just want the last comments that came up. Somebody said thank you for sharing your experience and knowledge. And someone says
Oh, the
movie.
movie's nefarious.
That's
Yeah.
my wife.
Oh,
Oh, that's your wife. I love it.
Yeah, that's my wife.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's the movie.
Nefarious. I gotta write that down.
and you have a few here too, Mom. Who
That's my
wants-
daughter.
Oh, I love it. Hi, daughter.
Where's Mama? Yes. And then Teresa says that she would be interested in taking the class too. So
Yeah.
there you go. You have
Yeah.
all your students now, just about.
Yeah.
Yep. I will put, but I want to put something that is worth it, and I want to put something that I have the facts, and not just say, because I say so.
Right.
And I want to be like, it's this and this, and
Yeah.
give you more resources to
Right.
learn
Yeah,
more.
please let me know because
Yeah.
I can advertise it on my platform on TikTok.
Yeah.
So
I will.
And I saw that you became a member of Within the Cauldron. Thank you for that. So you can also just go ahead and post it in there too as well. You have free range of do what you want in that
Yeah.
for anything.
we're all about
Thank you.
supporting each
Yeah.
other and empowering each other. So
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we better end now because we're going
Talking to you all night. I don't mind that, but
I'd love to,
I
yeah.
have to get up at 5 to go to work.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, I could do-
But I just want to tell the audience, thank you for joining us tonight. It has been super amazing.
yeah.
She will be back, so no worries about that. And please jump over to the link on the bottom that's
Mhm.
going across the page. Hook up to her, it says hi, enter a class, and jump over to Behind the Riches Veil and Within the Cauldron, and
On
like
TikTok too.
and TikTok too, and like, subscribe, and share out. And peace, everybody. Many
God
blessings.
bless you guys.
And then just stay with us for a couple minutes when the video goes down.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Thank you.